Thank you. Okay. So taking a look at the top, we have two figures, two shapes. Yeah, these two shapes. What do we see that is the same between them? Or what is the difference? All right. Okay. All right. And which one's the two-dimensional one? This one? Yes. Two-dimensional. So then the one over on this side is a three-dimensional. Reading. Can anyone name what this shape is? Triangular prism, yes. And why is that a triangular prism? You just know that? All right. Okay. Well, we are going to go over why that is a triangular prism. So, moving on. Hold on. Okay. So, for three-dimensional figures, so to correctly name a three-dimensional figure, you have to determine the shape of what first? Okay. The face. No, you're keep going. You have nothing to add on to that? What could be maybe another word for face? The sides. So you have the top and then you have the bottom. So those can be called bases. So you have the top and the bottom. All right? So that is base. And then if you have three-dimensional figures, there's two types of figures that you can have. Does anybody want to give a guess at what those might be? Sure. A cylinder, that would be one. That would be fit into one of the categories. So there are two types. So I'm going to give a little clue. The two words I'm looking for are actually on the screen.
Pyramids and prisms.
Pyramids and prisms, yes. All right. So, starting with prisms. So, what is, if you have a prism, you have a pyramid, they do look differently. So if you have a prism, it would have two, or does anyone, before I give the answer, anyone want to give maybe a shot at what's the difference between a pyramid and a prism? No? No? Okay, how about you? For a prism, yes, a prism would have two sides, but even further, they're like matching, two congruent sides. Okay? And so then they're connected. Those two sides are connected, and they're connected by edges. Anybody have an idea of an example of what that might be? Like what would be a prism? I got it. Here we go. Two congruent sides, and they're connected by edges. So an example, so I've made some fun shapes out of household items, so bear with me on maybe some of the tape on this, but here we go. This would be a prism. So here we have two sides, which are square on each side, and then these squares are connected by these edges. So this would be a square prism. Does that make sense, or any questions on that, besides me holding this together by tape? All right, another example of that would be, we have a pyramid prism, or sorry, triangular prism. So you have a triangle on each side, and then they're connected together by edges. Does everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be two examples. So you would have, what did we just go over? I said we had a square prism and a triangular prism. Is there a question? No? All right. So now moving over to pyramids. So pyramids, does anyone want to give a shot at how a pyramid might be different than from a prism? Yeah? You can use it, describe it in your own words.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure one is like the triangle base, and then
Well, they both can have square and a triangular base. But you're going, so if you have a pyramid, you have a triangular base, and they are connecting at, how do they connect? By a tip, I heard a tip, by a point,
edge.
an edge. So not an edge, but the tip and the point, that would be called a vertex. So they're connected by a vertex. All right, so here we go, is I have two examples here of a pyramid. So here we have a pyramid, at the bottom of it is a triangle, and it's connected up on top by a vertex. So this little point up here, so that was a good word. But then, similar, we have a square at the bottom of this one, and at the top, it's also connected. So you can have a square pyramid, you can also have a triangular pyramid, and you can have many other shapes. Depending on what the shape is at the bottom, or the base, that's what determines what it is. So, taking that, what would be the difference between, anyone want to get a guess? What's the difference between these two objects? Minute. Oh, back here.
One of them has like that one is 2D and this one is 3D.
That's a good guess. Anyone else want to give? Right here.
So places that connected by edges.
Uh-huh. Okay, and so which one is a pyramid and which one's a prism? Uh-huh. All right, was there anything that you wanted to add? You had your hand up? No?
No, she said
All right, so an example then of the pyramids, we could have a triangular, what we just went over, triangular pyramid, and a square pyramid. Those are two examples. All right.
You're writing the word example instead of pyramid.
Thank you. And a square pyramid. All right, so moving to the next section. Next section is, we are just gonna define what these are. So we have a couple different examples on the paper. So this first one, looking at that, what would you think the base of that would be? So if we're looking at the base, we're looking at this figure here and then this back here. Up back here, what do you think?
A square.
A square, it is. And would that be a prism or a pyramid? So would that be a pyramid or a prism? So, prism? Yes. Yes. All right. All right, I'm gonna give you guys all, how about a few seconds to go ahead, about 30 seconds to keep working through the rest of them on the sheet. Identify first what the base is, and then if it's a pyramid or a prism. Yep. What's that?
Bless you.
You don't know what that shape is? All right, so to help everyone a little bit, so this shape here,
It's a gon.
it's a gon. It's a gon, so it